You ever wonder why some businesses just explode, right? They become huge successes, while others, with products that seem just as good, kind of fizzle out. Well, a lot of the time, the secret isn't actually about what they sell. It's about all these invisible currents and powerful forces swirling around them. And today, that's exactly what we're going to dive into, this really fascinating world of the marketing environment.
So this is the big question, isn't it? Because no business exists in a bubble. It's always being pushed and pulled by what's happening in the world. So success isn't just about what a company does. It's about how well it sees and reacts to everything that's going on around it.
So, what do we actually mean when we say marketing environment? Well, the official definition is pretty much everything, and I mean everything that can affect how a company connects with its customers. Think of it like the entire ecosystem a business has to figure out how to live in if it wants to survive, let alone do well.
Now, probably the best way to get your head around this is with a simple metaphor. Just think, your neighborhood versus the climate. Your neighborhood, that's what we call the microenvironment. It's made up of all the immediate folks you deal with every day. You can talk to your neighbors, the local shop owner. You actually have some direct influence there. But the climate, that's the macro environment. That's a whole different story. You can't change the weather, can you? You just have to adapt to it. And it doesn't just affect you, it affects everyone.
All right, so let's zoom in on that neighborhood first, the inner circle. These are the players a company is interacting with day in and day out. Their impact is super direct and, honestly, pretty immediate.
So who lives in this neighborhood? Well, you've got your suppliers, the ones providing all your raw materials. You have intermediaries, think retailers or distributors. They're the connectors who help you get your product to the market. Then there are your competitors, who are always keeping you on your toes. And of course, the most important ones, your customers. The whole reason you're even in business. With all of these, a company has a direct, back-and-forth relationship.
Okay, now let's zoom out. We're stepping out of the immediate neighborhood and taking a look at the big picture. This is the climate, those massive, uncontrollable forces that shape not just your business, but whole industries.
And these are the heavy hitters. We're talking demographics, like who are the people out there? Really, how are they changing? Then there's the economy. Is it booming, or is everyone pinching pennies? Technology. What new gadget or software is about to change the game? Culture. What do people actually value? What do they believe in? And of course, government policies and laws. You can't change these forces, not really, but you absolutely must understand them because this is where massive opportunities, and yes, some pretty devastating threats, come from.
Now I know this can all feel a little bit abstract, so let's make it real. Let's look at a company that is just a master at reading the room and adapting to its environment. Nike. So, a few years back, a huge cultural shift started happening. This wasn't something Nike created, it was a change in that macro-environmental climate. People, and especially younger generations, started to care a lot about sustainability and the health of the planet. That's a seriously powerful cultural force. So what did Nike do? Here's their playbook. They saw this shift in the climate and they responded. They didn't fight it, they didn't ignore it, they leaned right into it. They started developing products with eco-friendly materials, launched recycling programs. The result? Their brand image got a massive boost. They aligned themselves with the values of this huge, growing group of customers. See? They didn't change the weather, they just knew exactly how to dress for it.
So, what's the big takeaway from all this? It's that paying attention is basically a superpower. The best businesses, the ones that last, they aren't just great at making stuff. They are expert observers.
This really is the core idea. Marketing isn't something you set up once and then forget about. No way. It's this continuous loop of watching, listening, and being ready to pivot at a moment's notice. The world is always changing, which means your strategy can never, ever be set in stone.
So here's the crucial point. The smartest companies, they use specific tools for this. They do something called environmental scanning and trend analysis. That's really just a fancy way of saying they are constantly staring at the horizon, trying to spot the next big wave, whether it's a huge opportunity to ride or a dangerous threat they need to avoid. And that kind of leaves us with one last thought to chew on. What's the next big shift that's coming? Is it a new piece of tech? A major change in demographics? A cultural movement we're just starting to see? The next billion-dollar company is probably being built right now by someone who has a really clear answer to that question. The real question is, could that someone be you?